Hi guys, so today is day 4 of our Easter devotionals, and today we are looking at the next part of the story. So if you remember last time, we looked at the Lord's Supper and we drew some lovely pictures of Jesus and the disciples at the table and they're having a communion together. And today we're looking at the next part, and this part is set in the Garden of Gethsemane. And this story is in Matthew 26. So if you go about halfway through your Bibles to the New Testament, Matthew is the first book in the New Testament, and then you want to find chapter 26. There we go. So at this point, Jesus knew that he was about to go soon, and he was feeling a bit worried about it. So he took his disciples to the Garden of Gethsemane so he could pray to God. Now, he asked his disciples to wait for him while he goes further up in the garden to pray. So he went and he prayed to God that maybe if there was any way that this could not happen, that it would, but he kind of knew that it had to. So he just prayed that God would help him go through it. Mm-hmm. But when he went back down, all of his disciples were asleep.
What? How did they fall asleep?
Well, I'm guessing it must have been the middle of the night or something, because they were clearly very tired. So Jesus woke them up, and he went back up to pray and asked them to wait for him again. So he went and he prayed again to God because he was clearly feeling a bit sad about this. And he went back down, and guess what happened?
Don't tell me they were asleep again.
Yes, they were asleep again, a second time.
Goodness.
So he woke them up again and went, "Please wait for me while I go and pray. Don't fall asleep again." And so he went back to pray and came back a third time, and what do you think happened?
They were still asleep?
Yes,
Oh
they
my
were.
goodness.
Now, this time, however, he didn't go back up to pray because, if you remember last time, Lauren mentioned that one of his disciples was going to betray him. And this is when it happened. So Judas handed him over to religious leaders that wanted him gone, and that was it. He got taken away.
Okay, so today's craft is Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane and him praying. So you will need a slightly bigger piece of card this time, some pens and some scissors, and that's it. That's all you need. So first of all, you need to get your hand and you need to draw around it, and make sure that your piece of paper is folded and that your pinky finger is kind of coming off the edge of it, so that when you cut it out and open it up, it'll be two pieces of your hand. So once you've drawn around your hand, you will then need to cut it out. So when you open it up, you should have your two hands come together as if they're praying. And on the inside, we are going to draw the Garden of Gethsemane that Jesus was in. So I'm going to try and imagine what it's like. I think there were loads of trees and loads of birds there, but you can draw it however you want to. And then in the middle, we're also going to draw Jesus praying to remind us of the story of Jesus praying in the garden. So once you have drawn that, you can see that you have your hands, and then when you open it up, you can see the Garden of Gethsemane. So I've got Jesus and he's praying, and then I've also got the sleepy disciples in the corner.
Hey, I drew disciples
Yay! So what do you think we can learn from this story, Lewis?
So, it mentions prayer quite a lot, doesn't it? Jesus went up to pray, 3 times?
Yeah.
And so I think that the point of the story is that prayer is really important, and it also shows us that Jesus went and talked to God because he was worried and he was feeling sad about what was going to happen. So I think this tells us that prayer is really important and that we can go to God with anything.
Exactly. And I think it also tells us that Jesus was a little bit scared about what was going to happen, but he trusted in God and he obeyed God because he knew that God knew best.
So, Lauren, is there anything in your life that you need to trust God with?
Okay, so I think that I need to trust God with my future. So I'm finishing at YCC. I'm finishing with YCC Kids in a couple of months, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do next. And I'm not entirely sure at the minute, but I know that I need to trust God with what I'm going to do next and where I'm going to go, and then I need to remember that He knows best. So over the next couple of weeks and months, I need to remember that He has a plan and that I should trust in Him because He knows what's best for me.
Amazing. And just like Lauren, I'm sure that you have something that you really want to happen or something that maybe you're worried about. So I reckon our challenge for this week can be to pray about those things and trust that God has it under control.
Exactly. So that is it for today's craft and story, and we will see you again for day 5 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.